Hello, my name's Julie Lanigan. I'm a paediatric dietitian from the UCL Institute of Child Health. Fat is an energy-dense nutrient. It's got twice as many calories as carbohydrates and protein. So again, it can contribute to taking too much energy in and overweight and obesity. But more importantly, we need fat in the diet. Young children need more than adults to get their fat-soluble vitamins and also important essential fatty acids. So we have too much omega-6 fatty acid in our diet today in general, and we're trying to get children to eat more fish and foods that include omega-3s, which are more healthy fats for young children. Yeah, so this is a very exciting topic at the moment. It's a new and emerging area of science. So you probably know that we're all full of bacteria. People say anything to 1.5 as much times our cells are bacteria, or sometimes up to 10 times as many of our cells are bacteria. And we need them to live inside us, so they're concentrated throughout the gut, most in the colon, where they live quite happily with us. So they're known as symbiotic, living happily together with the human body. And they perform important functions, so they can protect immunity, they can provide extra energy in the body, and generally keep the gut healthy and happy, so the child's less likely to have constipation, diarrhea, and tummy troubles. How do we get children to sleep more? It's very tricky, but I think it's about having a routine, a regular bedtime, a nice calming routine around bedtime, a bedtime story, and the child just gets used to it, calms down, and should sleep normally and establish a nice pattern that they take forward to later childhood and hopefully into adulthood as well. Yeah, I think it can be helpful for children to have a settle-in snack just before they go to bed. Not too big so that it's having to be digested and keeping them awake, and not immediately before going to bed so that they're likely to wake up during the evening. But certainly it's not good to go to bed hungry, and a light snack and a warm drink is a good idea for young children. Well, I think right from the beginning it's really important to get your child involved. So don't be mysterious about vegetables, new vegetables that you're introducing. Show them to your child. Let your child get to know foods, play with them, help prepare when they get to that age when they can actually get involved. And just let them become familiar with foods, and it's a natural part of life. Yeah, I think we have to remember that children have smaller stomachs than adults, so they need to eat more often. They need to have more of a grazing style, little and often diet. So they do need to have their 3 meals, as we do, but a couple of snacks in between is also a good idea with children. And right from the beginning, we can start to make sure that they're healthy. So, for example, we can include vegetables, we can have dips, things like hummus, good high protein or protein-containing foods for children. So you want to know more about baby-led or child-led weaning. So this is something that's really growing in popularity. As you probably know, many mums are trying this. And it's really a type of weaning where the child shows what they want to try, shows willingness, eagerness to try something new, and is allowed to do so. So, for example, mum is sitting with a plate and the baby leans forward to take a piece of broccoli to try it. And that's fine, but there's also a need to make sure that weaning is nutritionally balanced, as we talked about earlier. So it's also important that mum does have some control. So this is a way of allowing the baby to actually try new foods, but it's also important to make sure that they're being offered, or foods from all the groups are made available. And there are some concerns that diets, baby-led weaning diets may not be as complete as traditional weaning diets, and also some concerns around choking. So you have to make sure that foods on offer are suitable for a young baby. So whole grain products, they're fine for young children, but what we do have to be careful of is very high insoluble fibre. So things that don't get digested readily, may stay in the stomach for longer, and they may overfill the stomach so that the child doesn't eat all the other important nutrients that they need. So yes, they can have brown breads, but there are other sources of fibre as well in the fruits and vegetables. So it's a good idea not always to take the peel off apples, for example, and not just to give fruit juices and smoothies, but to give the actual raw, whole fruit and vegetable. And in that way, the child should get all the fibre that they need. Yeah, so we know that most babies will do well on mother's own milk up to 6 months, and the World Health Organization, on the basis of that, recommends that all babies are exclusively breastfed to 6 months of age, and that no other milks or foods or drinks should be offered until that time. And that's to keep babies safe, to keep the risk of infections down, and because they'll grow well and healthily on a human milk diet. The variety in a child's diet is really essential to make sure they get a good complement of all the nutrients, so all the vitamins and minerals. So the reason we advise different food groups is because they provide different nutrients. So carbohydrates, fat and proteins will give energy to the child, essential fatty acids and amino acids, the building blocks for growth and repair. And carbohydrates will give energy and sugar for the cells to go about their daily functions. And then we of course need fruits and vegetables to provide all those so important vitamins and minerals. Yeah, textures are important. So children have developmental windows when they're ready to accept new textures in foods. And studies have shown that if those windows are left too late, for example, a child will struggle to eat lumpy food. So it's also very important part of muscular development, how to chew, how to swallow, how to accept tastes as well. So there do seem to be windows of opportunities when children will more readily accept taste. So the earlier in the weaning period that we offer these unusual flavoured, stronger flavoured vegetables, the more likely a child is to accept them. So there are really important early windows for that.